For years, a loud misconception echoed across the world that Filipinos did not speak real English. People believed that English mastery was exclusive to native speakers, the Americans, the British, the Australians. They thought the Philippines, a Southeast Asian country, would forever remain second best in English. But there was something these critics did not understand. They didn't see what was happening in classrooms, in Filipino homes, in call centers, in hospitals, in universities, and in the hearts of millions of hardworking Filipinos. They didn't understand the story behind the Filipino voice, a voice that would one day rise so high that even a Harvard professor would be forced to admit, Filipinos speak English better than most native speakers. This is the story of that truth, a truth the world can no longer deny. For decades, the world judged English by one thing: the accent. If you didn't sound American enough, your English was considered wrong. If your R's weren't strong or your vowels weren't rounded, people assumed you were uneducated. Filipinos became the target of countless jokes. Online commentators mocked how Filipinos said P and F, B and V, how they laughed, communicated, or expressed emotion. But what people failed to see was the depth, the history, and the intelligence behind Filipino English. It wasn't broken. It wasn't inferior. It wasn't wrong. It was different because it evolved for a different purpose. Filipino English was shaped for clarity, for warmth, for understanding, for connection, for compassion, and these qualities would soon shake the entire world. Around the early 2000s, international companies began taking notice of something remarkable. Whenever Americans called customer service, they repeatedly rated Filipino agents as more understandable, more polite, more patient, more emotionally intelligent, and easier to talk to than many American agents. This shocked CEOs. How could a country on the other side of the world, with different histories, different roots, and different cultures, produce English speakers so globally effective? The answer was hidden in everyday Filipino life. English is everywhere. Filipinos hear English in TV shows, news broadcasts, storefronts, churches, textbooks, online games, social media, and even family conversations. In the Philippines, children switch between Filipino and English like flipping a light switch. It's natural, effortless, part of their identity. So while people from other countries struggled to learn English as adults, Filipinos grew up with English as a second heartbeat. The turning point came during an international linguistics conference in Singapore, where Professor Adrian Whitman, a senior expert in English phonetics from Harvard University, was scheduled to review Asian English accents. He analyzed Japan. He analyzed Korea. He analyzed China. Then the Philippines. The audience expected to laugh. They expected jokes. They expected stereotypes. But what they got was silence. A Filipino nurse from Cebu was speaking in the audio sample. Her English was steady, neutral, emotionally balanced, globally understandable, warm, and confident. Professor Whitman listened once, then twice. Then he asked to replay it one more time. Finally, he leaned into the microphone and delivered a line that shocked the entire conference. If this is not real English, then someone needs to redefine what English means. The room fell silent. He continued, Filipino English is one of the most globally intelligible forms of English in existence. It is not only correct, it is efficient. Reporters printed his words. Clips went viral. Blogs and linguists reacted. One professor from the UK wrote, Filipino English may be the future of global communication. And suddenly, the world began paying attention. So why is Filipino English so unique and powerful? Linguists discovered that it has several rare qualities. First, its neutral accent. It's not too strong, not too flat, perfect for global conversations. Second, its clear enunciation. Filipinos pronounce words fully, which makes them easier to understand than some native speakers who might mumble or speak too quickly. Third, a warm emotional tone. There is a friendliness built naturally into the Filipino communication style. Fourth is adaptability. Filipinos can adjust their tone quickly to sound more American, more British, or stay neutral. No other country does this as naturally. And finally, cultural strength. Filipinos speak English with respect, humility, and patience, qualities the world deeply appreciates. Here's the reality check people often missed. They mocked Filipino English, but didn't realize that Filipino teachers are the ones training students from Japan and Korea. Filipino nurses are leading communication in hospitals across the Middle East. American companies actively prefer Filipino virtual assistants. Online students from all over the world specifically request Filipino English tutors. Airline companies hire Filipinos for their clear communication skills. Hollywood movies even use Filipino voice actors for dubbing. And YouTubers? They hire Filipino editors and narrators because they speak clean, global English. The stereotype was collapsing because reality was simply too powerful to ignore. After the Harvard statement went public, global reactions changed dramatically. Americans started commenting, Filipinos actually speak English clearer than many Americans. Europeans said, this should be the standard for world English. Even viewers from other Asian countries wrote things like, I learned English from Filipinos, that's why I can speak today. The world began to realize something Filipinos always knew deep inside. Filipino English is not a mistake. It is a masterpiece. Beyond the technical skills, there's an emotional truth. Filipinos understood English not just with the mind, but with the heart. They communicate with empathy, with warmth, with care. When a Filipino speaks English to you, it feels different. It feels human. It feels genuine. It feels like someone truly wants to help you. That is something no textbook can teach. It's something no rule can explain. It is the heart of the Filipino people shining through their words. So the next time someone says, Filipinos don't speak real English, here is the truth. The world's best companies disagree. International students disagree. Global healthcare systems disagree. Millions of satisfied customers disagree. And yes, even Harvard disagrees. Because Filipinos don't just speak English. They speak it clearly. They speak it intelligently. They speak it beautifully. They speak it with heart. And today, the world finally understands that Filipino English is one of the most powerful communication tools on earth. Thanks for watching.